I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, and I'm located in Southgate, Kentucky.
And I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery in Monroe, Washington. And welcome to Wheel Talk.
Hey folks, thanks for listening to Wheel Talk. We would love some more interaction with you all throughout this future episodes, and we would love to hear some listener questions. They may get on the episode.
Yeah, just submit them to wheeltalkpodcast@gmail.com, or you can submit them on our Instagram at wheeltalkpodcast. Thanks. Now we're going.
I probably can't eat.
Sure you can. I ate a whole dinner the last time we did this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was great.
Okay.
Talk with your mouth full.
Be very adult.
Yes. So how do you actually play Hungry Hungry Hippo? Like, is there rules?
That's like how, I don't know, like, is it, I thought it's just he or she who gets the most marbles.
Right.
Just beating the hippo's butt like a maniac.
And that's it.
Yeah.
There's no
I don't think there's
actual...
rules. Are there rules to Hungry Hungry Hippos?
I don't know.
I'm asking you. What's the rules?
The person that gets the golden...
Oh,
Oh, there's a different marble.
And the person that gets the most marbles.
Okay, so if you get the golden marble, but you get the least amount of marbles?
That's probably some point thing. I didn't actually read the directions.
Huh.
Which is a shock for you. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I should probably do a little intro.
Yes.
Okay, hi guys.
Hi.
I'm not with Ryan, so this podcast might be a little spacey.
You got notes. I'm the only one without notes.
And Kari has notes. This is, okay, we are with... She's
You writing your grocery list?
She's gonna write her grocery list. We're already a shit show. And so Josh Heim and Kari Heim are here with me. I'm at their kitchen table, and Josh is about to eat a pizza.
Buffalo
chicken pizza
with ranch.
That does look really good.
It's delicious.
I might put one in the oven.
Okay.
Or the microwave. And Josh, say who you are.
I'm Josh.
You don't. I don't think you have to. I don't think you actually have to lean in.
Okay, I'll try. By the way, I like doing this. My name is Joshua Heim. I am the founder and creator of JH Pottery Works, and it's a class-based clay community. Teach 6-week classes, 2-hour classes, clay camps for kids, and then I make custom pottery as well. And I am sitting next to my super sexy wife,
Kari
Hi.
Heim. Yes. And I run the flower shop and greenhouse part of the business.
And we're in Warren, Indiana.
Yes.
There's like 7 of us here all together. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Out in the middle of nowhere in the cornfields.
Yeah, they're the only flower shop for like 20 miles.
Yeah, pretty much. You
Yeah.
want to tell them the background story?
Well, I grew up a quarter mile down the road, and I actually grew up working at Gebharts in middle school and high school. And then Josh and I always joked when we drove by that we should buy Gebharts and open it back up because the greenhouse had been closed for about 7 years. And you have to be careful what you wish for because 6 years ago we bought it.
Yeah. Had her eyes open to being a small business owner and just the reality of what that comes with. The flower industry is very volatile, I would say. What was really surprising to us is that most of our income for flowers is through funerals, and that was kind of a shock to us. You think weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, all that sort of thing, which are both still very busy, but it's mostly funerals. And we're blessed to have a really nice retirement community here in our town. And because of that, people pass, and we do the flowers for their funeral. So, So we get to be a part of many aspects of life, which is really unique. We can celebrate babies and anniversaries, but also comfort people in a time of loss. So, that's what it comes with.
Yeah.
But the most exciting part of it is the greenhouse, which we're getting ready for.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like plants before you started doing this?
Yes.
A lot? Or like...
I have a green thumb. I've always enjoyed gardening. I've always loved growing things. So it comes naturally, and I love being out in the greenhouse and getting dirty and getting my hands in the dirt.
Did you... And you have another job, right?
Yes. I have a full-time teaching job. I teach online. I teach middle school math online. So 7th graders for Indiana Connections Academy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of work.
Yeah. So, okay, I guess my main question, and probably what everybody wants to know, is how do you guys not kill each other? Like owning a business together.
I think.
12 years of marriage.
Yeah.
Like, we've had our ups and downs, and we just know that if we don't talk things through and we don't actually work together, then then it's not going to work.
Rebecca and ranch dressing are challenging together.
Sorry.
Well, and we've talked about that, how year one, Josh and Kari would not have done well owning a business
Yeah.
and dealing with that. We've learned a lot about each other in the last 12, going on 13 years. And personality-wise, and even within our jobs, we're polar opposites. So Kari is, math teacher, list, structure, organizational, and I'm not.
Right.
So,
So Josh gets these harebrained ideas, and he wants to run with it, and I'm the one that goes through all of the different possible scenarios and brings it back to reality.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're like the last say.
Yeah, which is
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome, because I knew, like, when we were doing marketing stuff, yes, there are times when cash flow can be tight, and Kari will say, well, we can't do that, we don't have the money, we don't have the money, we don't have the money. And to someone whose brain operates in a very creative way, hearing no shuts down that creativity. And what we've learned with each other is she'll go, okay, Josh, you have $7. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can make magical things happen for $7 versus $0.
Right.
So that's where we've learned to understand each other's strengths and utilize that. So that's been beneficial. And then I think as a couple, we also share the weight that a small business can bear, and that the brunt of what that can settle on your shoulders. And doing it by yourself can just be exhaustive and draining, and just completely steamroll somebody. But luckily for us, we get to both shoulder that yoke and carry the stress together as a couple versus just one person doing it all. So
We make a good team.
yeah.
That's good, because if you didn't, this would really suck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It would.
Yeah, what was really, back to the greenhouse, what was really eye-opening to me was how parallel greenhousing and pottery are in terms of hands-on, labor of love. There's a ton of effort up front in growing the plants, nursing them along, checking soil and water pH, and did you get the right sunlight, are you at the right temperature, and all that sort of thing. And if you put that labor in, then at the end, you get this beautiful plant. It's kind of like putting in the time to make a pottery piece, treat the clay properly, fire it properly, test your glazes properly, and then bang, you have this really nice pottery at the end. So that was a big surprise to me, how much I enjoyed the greenhousing side of it. That was very akin to making pottery.
And the pottery is under the greenhouse. So explain that. So there's an LLC, an overarching LLC.
Yes. So the official business is Gebharts Floral Barn and Greenhouse, LLC. Okay. And then JH Pottery Works is a subsidy of that.
So all the money that flows through JH Pottery Works goes into the greenhouse.
Yes, goes into the greenhouse and the flower shop.
Yes. Which is nice, because that way we don't have all of our money in one pot. We have different sources of income. Not all of our eggs in a basket. That's what I meant to say. So if the flower shop is not busy, the greenhouse sometimes supplements that, or the pottery studio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or the classes, or the mugs, or something else supplements it, which is nice.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night, actually, like not having all of your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, a lot of times you want to set up your business like a table. You know, how many legs can you have underneath the table supporting it, so that if something happens, the economy tanks, or bad weather, or whatever, or the coronavirus affects your business.
Yeah.
What else are you doing to supplement that? That's my pizza.
This pizza's really good.
It's phenomenal.
Well,
Shout out East of Chicago.
I did not think that buffalo chicken pizza, like, I don't like onions, and it doesn't have onions.
Mm-mm.
And that's the
It's tasty.
It's tasty.
It's very tasty. So like with the studio, like Kari was saying, last spring and summer, we had just awful weather greenhouse-wise. We had cold snaps when we weren't supposed to. We had rain when we weren't supposed to, and greenhouse sales dipped because of it. And so that's where, okay, well, let's ramp up pottery classes. Let's do pottery sales. Let's do clay camps for kids over the summer. Let's find ways to bring money in and continue to support the overarching business.
Right. If you need money, find it.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, and don't just stand there and hold a bucket on the end of the pier going, here, fish, jump in the bucket. No, go get the dumb fish.
Get the fish.
Yeah, like it's just...
Jump in after the fish.
Yep.
So, for me, I take a mug to a business or something with their logo on it and go, hey, I shop here, I spend money here or whatever. This is what your business logo looks like on a mug.
Yeah.
Keep it, enjoy it. There's all my card information. I'm going to continue to shop here. And normally a couple weeks go by and then I get a phone call. Hey, can you make more mugs? I'm like, sure can.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
go find the fish.
How do you think? Well, okay, so I should mention you have 3 kids, right? Very loud,
3
wonderful girls.
Mm-hmm.
How old and what are their names?
Adeline will be 9 soon, in a couple months. Eliana will be 6 next month, and Kaylin just turned 3.
Yeah, so you're busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Very busy.
All the time.
Did you, let's see, you got the Gebharts in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
How old was the oldest?
The middle one was 5 months old.
Okay.
Yeah. So Addie would have been 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how has how is owning a business and especially like the pottery, because the flower, well, actually they're both really involved, but like, how is that kind of affected? Like, how do you balance it, I guess? How do you balance having family time and...
We have employees.
Perfect!
I mean, that really does help. For the flower shop aspect of it, we have employees that are really great at designing, and so Monday through Friday, they are the main people working in the flower shop. But when the girls go to school, Josh is a full-time parent and watches the girls, but they've all grown up being in the pottery studio.
Yeah.
So it is not unusual to see them at the wheel, and on any given weekend, they want to go play pottery.
Yeah.
Because they love it. They have so much fun, and he does a greet job with all of that.
Because
I'm doing schoolwork.
Okay, so wait, that ticking is the window, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that? So you're doing schoolwork, like you work pretty much a 9 to 5, right?
8 to 4, but yes.
8 to 4,
Yes.
and the office that you have is in the flower shop.
Yes.
So you could still get interrupted
Yes.
by all of those things.
Yeah, I keep, so,
One ear
if
open.
I take a break sort of thing,
Yeah.
I'm checking on the flower shop, checking in, making sure everything's running smoothly, so I'm managing it 100% of the time.
And did you start out with employees from the get-go?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
so you budgeted that in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, there's no, the short answer, there's no special system that we put into place that says, oh, this is the magic wand that you can wave over your small business, over being a parent, and then also being a spouse, and then trying to do family, that makes it all together.
Yeah.
Assess your situation and do things based on that.
Yeah.
I know at any given point during the business hours day, the flower shop can interrupt me in the pottery studio because we need to go get flowers, or I got to go help pick up the slack and do a delivery.
Yeah.
That's the good and bad.
Because Josh is the delivery boy.
I do know that because he calls me on the deliveries.
Hey, what you doing? And so, I mean, that's part of being a business owner is you are the slack picker up, or you're the safety net.
Yeah.
And you don't have a choice. So, at any given point, the flower shop can pull me out of the studio. So I have to make up that time somewhere else. Well, I'm not going to stay out there during family supper.
Right.
I'm not going to stay out there during bath and bedtime. Majority of the time, I'm gonna be a parent, and we're gonna do bath time. We're gonna read a story. We're gonna put the kids to bed, and then I go out to the studio at 8:30 at night and stay out there for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
So it's when do you find time to do it? Well, whenever I can. Like
Whenever
it's
you
not but that's not every day that I'm up till midnight. There's days where I get to be in the studio all 8 hours. During the day, uninterrupted, and my 3-year-old hangs out with me, and we take a break for lunch, and then go get a cookie, and do all.
Because your 2 olders go to school.
Yeah, 2 olders are in school.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's nice that they're there during the day. But yeah, that's how we make it work.
We make family a priority.
Yes.
I've witnessed that already.
My family lives right down the road, and we get together.
Like, you can see their house.
We try and get together every Sunday with my sisters and my parents. And, I mean, I grew up with that just ability to hang out with all of my aunts
and the
and
family
uncles.
values.
So, we really value family a lot, and we would rather have we would rather not have a ton of money, and I mean, we would like the money, but
who wouldn't?
But we understand our limits, and we would much rather spend time with our girls than work ourselves to death. So.
Yes. Yeah, oh my gosh, yes. Overarching, because there's that underlying tone. If you're a small business owner, you're eating and sleeping and breathing it 24/7, and if you're not, you lose your edge. And hi,
Kay.
And I'm going, at what cost? Mm-hmm. No, I'm gonna stand up, stop what I'm doing in the studio, to go in and be a dad.
Yeah, I think that's important to do, even as somebody who doesn't have kids.
Yeah.
I've been learning that. I might be learning it a little too well to separate myself.
Yeah.
I'm like one of those people that if I have an employee on Saturday, I forget. I'm like,
You still go to work?
No, I forget that I have an employee, and I forget to even check in or do anything. I'm like, all right, I have a store.
I should probably do that.
I should probably do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think that we were also talking about this last night, where I think generally in America.
I'm hungry.
Hi, Hungry.
I'm Becca. Nice to meet you, Hungry.
I'm Dad. What? Yes, come on.
Yay.
I think that in general, I forgot to put that pizza back. In general, we want to work super hard and not give ourselves any time, because that's not what the American dream is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are we playing the matching game now?
And life interrupts us.
And life does interrupt
Can I
us.
show you
But
how you play?
We also know that our girls and our community knows that our girls are a part of our
Do
these
these look
Yeah.
the same?
The
No,
girls
how
come to
about we
meetings
put
with
it
us.
in
The girls go on
the
deliveries with
living
us.
room?
Hey,
Go away.
go play in the living room. They're
Go
just
away.
always a part of us. We can't get away
They
from
won't
them. Yeah, so it's just.
I know, and being in a small community like this, you can get you can get away with that regardless, but it's endearing to be like that in a small community.
Yep.
Well, we're really involved in our community, within our Chamber of Commerce and all that sort of thing. And if either Kari or I show up somewhere without people, they're like looking without our children. They like look behind us and they're like, "Where are your kids?"
Yeah.
You know, like it's just expected. If you get Joshua or Kari, 1 or 2 or 3 kids are usually in tow.
Yeah. But not anymore.
Yeah, just one now. It's
And during the summer, all 3 of them are with us.
yeah,
True.
yeah,
So, you know, school only lasts for so long.
yeah. There's a lot of family time over the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like having your business at your house?
I don't
This is
understand
us
the
thinking.
question. Our business is always... So, I have worked for the online school for... This is my 9th year. And
I warmed up nothing.
You started the microwave with nothing inside of it?
Oh.
So I've had, like, before we even owned the business, I worked from home, and so we had 4 years of me working at home, him being at home as the primary caregiver,
Yeah.
and us getting used to that relationship. So we've always...
You don't know
always-
anything different?
We don't know anything different. Like, well, we did try 1 year.
Yeah,
For
had one of
about
those real jobs.
8 months, Josh had a real job.
What was it? Oh, Amico?
No, chimney. He worked for a chimney
worked for a masonry
masonry
company.
Oh.
And he was up at, I think you had to work at like 6 o'clock or something like
Yeah.
that. You were home by 3 sometimes
Yeah.
7. It kind of varied.
Yeah.
And the idea was that we were possibly going to, like, I was going to quit my job and be a stay-at-home mom, and he was going to have this job, and, I mean, we were saving money. It was great. And then we got the phone call from my dad that said, "Hey, Gebharts are selling. Do you want to buy it?"
All right. At an unbeatable.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
unbeatable. $40 more than our mortgage in Indy
Yeah.
for 6.5 acres.
That's
of
Indianapolis.
business
Yeah.
yeah.
and house.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so you upgraded from a house in Indianapolis
In a development.
that was how many square feet? Like
1,600.
1,600 square
Yeah.
feet to a 6-acre farm
Uh-huh.
with a flower shop, a garage, a barn,
2 barns.
2 barns, and a house.
Mhm.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean that's
Yeah, it was a
No-brainer.
at all. But then it just kind of flipped everything, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, so that's how that's gonna change. We're gonna jump in with both feet.
Yeah.
yeah. How did you approach that? Because I feel like my mom calls me a calculated risk taker, and I feel like that's kind of one of those like calculated risk moments.
We had no idea what we were getting into.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The first week that we owned the business, the first Sunday, we actually had to take funeral arrangements, like casket spray and flowers, to a funeral home.
Were you freaking out? I would have been.
I had to set the flowers on the casket.
No,
And that's
no, not even that. Josh had to help carry the casket
Oh, that's right.
in because we were waiting on them, and the funeral director shows up, and then the guy is like,
Yeah, they're like, "You're
"Oh,
strong. Come
you
here."
look- Can you help us?" And Josh is going,
No.
That's a dead body.
No.
That's a dead body. That's a dead body.
And we had no idea that they did funerals on Sundays.
Yeah.
Oh.
So a flower shop business is not a Monday through Friday job.
No.
A flower shop business is a Monday through Sunday job, and it was like, oh my gosh, what did we get ourselves into?
Right, because
So-
you go to church and like Sunday's
Yes.
the family day.
Yes. Nope.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Not
not.
anymore.
Well, the very first time I delivered flowers, the funeral home was open, and they said, "Hey, we left a check for you on the casket." Now, my brain said they slipped it in between the dead person's fingers, and it's just sticking straight up, and that's what I got to do to go get it, because let's play a prank on the new guy. And now 6 years later, you know, the funeral director be doing the makeup on somebody, and I'm leaning super close, like, "Oh, you're doing a really good job now."
Yeah.
Like it's just
totally.
it's
Well, and it's funny, like our kids have a different perspective on death as well, because
Yeah.
we've taken them to funeral homes, and
Yeah.
they've seen like 2 actual funerals that we've been to, but they just, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. That's crazy. How do you okay, so here's a question. Kari, as a wife of a potter,
Oh boy.
how did you get used to that? Because it's not like we have the easiest and most normal lives, I feel like. Because he was a potter before.
Right.
He's been a potter for years.
So when we first got married, I was offered 2 different jobs. One in Taiwan, which that's a whole other story.
That would have been fun.
And one in Indianapolis. However, I declined both of those jobs because Josh had pottery connections in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And those were a little bit harder to come by. So from day one, I feel like I just made his pottery a priority.
Yeah.
And I hope that you would agree that,
Oh gosh, yeah.
you know, I did everything I could to support you in that, because you're really good at it.
That's true.
I'm a little biased, but really good at it, and that's what your major was. Like,
On a side note, Josh, I'm not kidding about this. Josh is who everyone calls when they have a question about glazes. Like, literally everyone.
He's become the pottery guru.
He is like
Josh.
like through different people. Like
Yeah.
you've got people in many different states who are like, oh, I don't know that. Go ask Josh.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking through. I mean, New York, North Carolina. I talked to you. You're in Washington. Ryan's in Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, Rebecca's in Indy. Yeah, it just, and that's the cool thing about our community. It's very much share all. You know, help out one another. For me, I have very much a challenger mentality. Like, who says how come and why? Like, that's just what my brain constantly thinks of. And so, well, you go to cone 6. Well, how come? You know, well, this is what you put in your glaze. Well, how come? Says who? Why? What's the chemistry behind that? What's the science behind it that says this is why you should do this, or why you shouldn't do this, or why this happened? My brain just constantly wants to know why, and so then I just research and get all nerdy, and then it gets retained, and then so then it makes for better pots too. And there's a pendulum swing now for people getting more into clay. And they want to know those things. So I'm happy to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, supporting his pottery was
Pretty easy.
And, you know, I was the one that had the full-time job, so it was literally supporting the pottery.
Yes. Marry up if you can. I would highly recommend marrying out of your league. So get them to slum a little, and you'll be all right. So, what? It's true.
Well, somebody has to marry down.
Exactly. She saw free pots for life. She's like, all right, fine.
Okay, fine.
And that is true. So, for my wedding gift, Josh asked me what I wanted. And I said that I wanted a dish set.
A place setting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's one of them.
These are them?
Yep.
This is crazy, Josh.
And
yes, I'm aware.
I'm kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time.
that
We're
came
pointing
out,
to something on the
I
radio,
know,
by the way. I'm just
but it came out of a magazine in JCPenney's catalog. And he was like, oh yeah, the glaze combination.
Yeah.
So he had to like dip it like 2 different times, and then the bigger plates
Good
he had to
job.
put in a 5-gallon bucket or cut it out or something.
I had to squeeze the bucket with clamps because the plates were wider.
I've done that.
Yeah,
I've definitely done that.
So you know, that was my wedding present, and I still have it.
I'm
It's
eating
so
a piece
cool.
of pizza on it.
Yeah.
Or I did.
Well, and even your parents were supportive. Now, mind you, you come from a very ag-related community, and so from a farming background.
Mm-hmm.
And so here comes, you know, Josh Heim, the potter, to this very wise, know-it-all father, you know, future father-in-law, and he's like, "You do what now?"
Yeah. How are you going to support my daughter?
And
He actually asked that.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Oh gosh, yeah. Flash forward 2 years, And it was kind of when the economy went south in 2008, and I was renting a pottery studio at a place in Pennsylvania, and we were going to stop renting, and I was going to pause on doing pottery because we couldn't afford the rent. I was laid off of my construction job, and so it was like, okay, we need to cut costs. And your parents ponied up like 2 or 3 months of rent and said, this is an investment in a future you that we believe in.
Oh, wow.
And that was 10 years ago.
Did you cry?
I'm getting chills right now, man. Stop it.
I would have cried.
And so that was 10 years ago. Flash forward, I now live a quarter mile down the road from that same father-in-law, and who was the one that called us and said, hey, this property's up for sale. I think you guys would do great at it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put, he put up all of his farming equipment as collateral. And was like, look, this is how much I believe in you guys. Which was amazing. We're all getting all...
Is it still on collateral?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't fail.
No. We get done signing the papers and everything, and we all walk out, and Rick grabs me by the shoulder and leans in. He's like, don't miss a payment. I'm like, oh, okay. So,
well,
yeah.
and you give back to him now by driving the tractor for him.
Yeah.
Ooh, I saw the tractors today.
Oh, I took her to...
And I felt like, okay, so this is how I described it. Like, when you're like playing with Tonka trucks and you're like the person controlling the truck. I felt like the truck, I was the Tonka truck.
Mm-hmm.
I was the ant.
Mm-hmm.
They're so freaking big. The wheels are 4 feet taller than me. Like...
Well, I mean...
I know, I'm pretty short. But, like... And I've like, grown up seeing combines and stuff because I have farming in my family, too. But I don't remember them being that ginormous.
Mm-mm.
They keep getting bigger.
Yeah.
And my dad is really, really smart and knowledgeable
Scary.
about farming. Not really.
Smart and scary.
And so he knows what equipment to get and when to trade up and all the different things. And obviously we're John Deere green, and because there's no other color of tractor. So
nope, definitely
but
not
yeah,
red.
So in the spring and in the fall, you can find Josh sometimes driving tractors around.
Mm-hmm.
Do you drive the really big ones?
Yeah, I can drive the really big ones, but the ones that are like, I have a price limit. Anything over $300,000, I'm like, no thanks, you can drive it.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'll pass.
Yeah.
That's worth more than my house. I'm good.
But the nice thing is because of that, I can order larger shipments of clay, get them in, unload them. Have access to equipment that makes our life easier in the business that we run and operate. So.
Right. Definitely. Yeah.
What else you got?
You answered all my questions.
Oh,
talk about the Mug Club. I want to hear about the Mug Club.
for Books and Brews?
Yeah, Books and Brews, yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that helps keep the pottery sustainable is, what year are we on? We're on 7? Yep. So 7 years ago, when we lived in Indy, a gentleman wanted to start a brewery. He Googled potters in Indy. My name came up, so thank you, Google. And so he's like, I got this idea for a brewery. I want all the mugs to be handmade. I was like, okay, cool. And so it was 30 mugs a month to start with.
It was 30 mugs every once in a while.
Yeah, it was
really
not consistent.
Not consistent at all to begin with.
But his business idea was phenomenal because it's a brewery. Basically, their business motto is a place for people without a place. So Jason, the owner, comes from a minor league baseball background.
Yeah.
And his idea was, if you're sitting at a baseball game, you can sit next to suit and ties who run some corporate whatever, and then on the other side of you could be a guy in a tank top and a mullet.
Right.
And nobody cares because it's the baseball game.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to come. And that's what he wanted to design Books and Brews as, is a place for literally everybody. So you'll have business people eating lunch, without any clue that there's going to be a Dungeons and Dragons tournament that night.
Right.
You know, so all the nerds that live in their mom's basement can get out of the house.
Those are
so
geeks.
Yeah, so
Yes.
so their mom can change their bed sheets. You know, so and then everything in between, Harry Potter trivia and all of that. And so there's one TV in the whole place. It's not a sports bar.
Yeah.
It's you go and you.
It's for trivia.
Yeah, for trivia, for game night, for
Yeah.
open mic, for book-themed party events,
Yeah.
all of that. Anyway, to say, that took Indy by storm. I mean, it took some build-up, but they franchised. And so they opened a second location. And then that turned into, 30 mugs regularly, if not 60. And then they franchised again and opened another store. And then open another store, and then open another store, and that turned into 500 mugs a month, which is insane. That's a lot of
Now you're
mugs.
hungry.
And now I'm hungry.
When it's
I know, I
little
can
Josh the
imagine.
Potter making them one at a time by himself.
Well, talk about how Rebecca talked to you about throwing
Yeah.
versus handling.
So, so then I met Rebecca Graves. Goodness, 4 years ago.
At a
Wow.
show, right?
Yeah, at a show, and come to find out, a thing to do in the pottery community is to subcontract out pots that you can make to let other potters make them, and you might finish them or whatever, but get some of the burden off of just having me do it one at a time over and over and over again. And so Rebecca was a big part of that, and then we even got another potter out of Indy as well to help make. So at one point there was 3 of us making mugs for Books and Brews.
Okay, Muncie.
Oh yeah, 4. I'm sorry, yeah, 4 people making mugs for Books and Brews, and we were able to pay all of them, and which kind of sounded like an infomercial, because I would go to them and be like, okay, do you want guaranteed cash? And they're like, yes, Josh, that's why we got in this profession. And I'm like, if I order 100 mugs from you, those 100 mugs are sold. Like, when I say I want 100, I need 100 because I'm going to pay you for 100 because I'm getting paid for those 100 too.
Right.
And I mean, one guy was able to buy a brand new pottery wheel from it.
Wow.
And so
What kind of upcharge do you put on that?
I do, so they're wholesaled for $15, and then depending on what you did and how much, you get a percentage of that.
Okay.
So if you only made the piece, that's like, I don't know, I'm trying to do the math. You got paid per piece.
Per piece. Okay.
Yeah, so it was a couple bucks per piece, and that left it up to the potter to either work their butt off or not. If you only make 8 pieces an hour, that still can be 16 to 20 bucks.
Yeah.
So that's $16 to $20 an hour. But if you could make 12 or 15 pieces an hour, you just upped your hourly through the roof. So that instills an incentive to work faster. But then the issue we kind of began to get into was having 3 or 4 different potters with 3 or 4 different skills, styles and skill sets who can't, now we're starting to get off an ounce or 2, or now we're starting to get off an ounce or 3, so it's really starting to get into some fluctuation where when you sell liquid for a living, you want that controlled. So we switched over to a slab built design of a cylinder slab of clay with a cylinder just wrapped around a tube, and
Be honest, it's wrapped around a Pringles tube.
well, yeah, I mean that gives you the reason to buy Pringles. So
Pringles.
yeah,
Why Pringles? Actually, you know what? I need some.
tube.
I need Pringles too. That is a really good size.
it's the perfect size,
Yeah.
and you get to have Pringles. I'm petitioning Oreo to start putting them in tubes, so we can have Oreo tubes and eat Oreos more
They'd
regularly.
be thinner too, so you could have
Exactly.
more delicate.
Or just fill a tube with the stuffing, because let's be real.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, switched over to a slab, so then it is exact. It's per the shape is per a template.
And they're quick, right?
Yeah, they're
5
quick.
minutes? 3 minutes?
It depends. So these ones are starting to. The new design has a handle. Last year's didn't. It was just basically a cylinder. The new ones have a handle, so that has added 45 seconds to a minute and a half of adding the handle and then cleaning it up. But the nice thing is,
And you're not pulling the handles, you're extruding.
no,
right?
the handles are extruded. So any way we can create a shortcut, but still end up with a nice looking product, we try to find that. But the flip side of that, if I'm doing more work in the making portion, then we limit the glaze style. So that way, the work gets made up somewhere. So
Yeah. How many are you making now? Did you say that already?
no, so
March is the new month. So March is the beginning of the new year, the new design year.
for books
So-
and brews.
He has to have enough mugs for every single location by the end of March.
Yeah, by the end of March.
Yeah.
So there's 8 locations, and then a 9th one is opening up near us. So they want, over 400 mugs, which is a lot. It's a lot when you make it one at a time. But then the payday is fat. So
The payday is nice.
You're like, we can make more mugs. Because I don't know about other potters, but I always start off like, good, this is going to be great. We're going into it. We're 50 mugs deep. We're on our way.
And then you're cussing so
Yeah.
bad at the end. You're like, I hate this.
I quit my job.
I want to kill myself.
I don't want to do this anymore. And then they go, here you go, here's your check. You're like, let's make more mugs.
Yeah, I'm down. Let's go.
So, yeah, I've been doing that for them for the last 7 years. And I will be the first to say it has saved our bacon more times than not because, winters can be awful here in the Midwest. And so nobody wants to take pottery class.
Yep.
And nobody wants to come out and buy flowers. But we still have rent. I still have employees I need to pay. I still have electric bills and all that sort of thing. And that's always nice to get that text. Hey, we could use 100 to 200 mugs next time you get a chance. Oh, thank you. We can pay off things now. So
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been awesome, and it's helped me level up my business as well. When they were franchising, I just had a single kiln that was what's this thing, 18 inches across? Is that the standard?
That's the baby kilns.
No, what am I thinking of? Maybe it's 22.
23. It's 23.
Yeah, 23.
The 7 cubic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had one, and that was it. But I was starting to fire that.
Me
I almost
too.
couldn't keep up. And Jason, the owner, was like, look, we're going to level up and we're going to keep franchising. I want you to come along for the ride. So I need you to kind of figure out how to do that on your own. Otherwise, I'm going to go find somebody else. And that's incentive alone to go, okay, time to buckle up, time to go get a bigger kiln. And then we got to go buy another bigger kiln and figure out a way to pay somebody to help make the mugs with me and all that sort of thing. So, and not everybody views that cliff edge as exciting.
Yeah.
Some people are like, I like my world. I like the way it resides and all that sort of thing. And that newness is kind of scary, so I'm just going to stay here. That's totally fair. I enjoy it. I thrive off that. I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's figure it out.
Classic extrovert.
Yeah, a little bit. So.
Yeah. Do we have anything else to talk about?
Josh is really excited about getting goats next month.
No, he's not.
Yeah, because your kids are doing 4-H, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Addie's first year of regular 4-H.
Addie, say hi. Say hi.
That was not high.
Hi.
What are you, a goat? Come on.
She's a goat.
We're editing that out.
We're not.
Pizza a little bit.
You what?
I need my pizza warmed up a little bit. 10
Okay.
minutes. 10 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, so Addie is
Can I
doing a
just
goat.
have it up
So-
2 seconds?
Have you guys
We're
already
getting two
decided on a
goats.
name?
Oh no, we haven't picked the goat out yet. We
Okay.
have to go pick the goat out, and then we have
And
to
then
get
you
the goat.
name it.
And then we bring the goat home.
Is it going to be a baby goat?
I mean, it's gonna be a little goat. They were just born in the last couple weeks.
Oh.
They're so little.
You need to put sweaters on it.
No, it's not gonna be that cold. By the time we get it, it won't
Can you
be
put
cold.
pajamas on it?
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll see.
You're really excited for that.
I like goats, and I like goats dressed up like things.
Well, and for me, I grew up in a military family, and so the whole thing of 4-H is just a completely foreign concept to me. It's like when Kari and I were dating, and we were talking about how we bought our first car, and she's like, yeah, I used cow money. And I'm like, what's cow money? And she's like, you didn't sell cattle, ever since you were 10 up until you were 18? I'm like, nope, that's not a normal thing we do. So
Yeah.
I worked at Perkins. That's how you get your first car.
Perkins. We went to see your dad while he was showing me around, and there was a calf that was just born an hour ago.
Yeah.
Or 2 hours ago, I suppose
Mm-hmm.
now. But kind of crazy.
Please turn the music on.
No, right now. Just wait.
This is how my conversations when I talk to Josh on the phone go.
Always.
It's like, no, not right now.
What?
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, you can have a snack. So I think that's pretty much it. We actually already at 45 minutes.
Cool.
So,
Do
do you want to say anything? Where
you can find me.
and the shop, yeah.
JH Pottery Works across the board, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then jhpotteryworks.com. And the flower shop is you talk.
Is Gebharts Floral Barn.
That's Gebharts.
Yes.
Heart.
Gebharts.
Yes.
Gebharts.
How many times are we going to spell it?
And we're not on Twitter. We're not cool like
I
that.
don't have a Twitter.
So just on
Twitter.
Facebook and Instagram.
Cool.
And GebhartsFloralBarn.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have pictures of their children there too that are very, very cute.
Yes. Thank God for wonderful genetics from your spouse.
Mm.
So that's always helpful.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Okay, bye.
Love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Wheel Talk. If you'd like to follow us on Instagram, you could find the podcast at wheeltalkpodcast, or you could find myself at RD Ceramics. That's R's in Ryan, D's in Durban, Ceramics.
Or you can find me at 5 Lines Pottery Studio. That's the number 5. And don't forget, share this with your friends, like us on Instagram, and don't forget to write a review. It helps us an awful lot. Thanks.